Welcome back. It is day 34 of 50 Days of Fitness. And so we hit 5 weeks tomorrow. So, man, it's been going like crazy. I've earned my first cup of coffee for this morning. And I got to say, I'm getting to the point where enough time has passed and we've been bumping up enough that these are getting harder for me. And I'm wondering if I'm going to hit a point where I have enough weight and repetitions going on that doing it every day, like I've been doing, is going to become infeasible. And I don't know. I don't know. It's like these are getting hard. And so far, I've been fine, but I have been noticing it's not like it was when I first started, where we started at this really low level. I mean, like 40% or so of our maximum number of reps and maximum weight. So it was a very low bar. But as we've been increasing, and it's been happening slowly, I'm wondering, where I am on that scale now. I haven't been doing that. Is one thing that when I was kind of researching into that they did suggest it's like, maybe once a week or once a week seems too often, but maybe once a week or every other week, you should do another test for your maximum and know where that is. And but I have not been doing that. I've just been kind of doing a steady progression up. So I don't really know where I am in terms of my maximum. I think that I am well above the 40% range. I don't know. Maybe I could be at the 80% range or maybe even 90% range. I'm not sure, but I'm starting to be able to feel it. So it's like, well, we'll see. We'll see. But we're not going to change course yet. We're going to cross that bridge when we come to it. And I'm going to take another sip of coffee. But as we get closer to this, I've been thinking a lot more lately about injury and recovery and what you do, because when you do something like this, I mean, probably somewhere along the line you're going to have some injury or recovery. Hopefully that's something very minor. But I think a lot of us don't know what to do when that happens. Now, this, I would say, is especially true with cardio. And you might not think of that, but and out of that, I would say especially true with like running. So if you are running, biking, swimming, any of those kinds of things, running has the highest potential for injury. That's one of the reasons that you have to put in your miles to kind of advance. But once you get beyond a certain level, for safety reasons, a lot of coaches, like triathlon coaches and things like that, they cut you back to the minimum number of days per week, which might be 3 days a week of running. 3, maybe 4, but maybe 3. And so because that's where you have the highest possibility of an injury. So you want to get your miles up and you want to maintain them, but you don't want to push that too far, because if you get injured, it throws everything else out. Swimming generally is much safer that way, but you can have the same thing happen swimming. That's, I would say that most of the time, that's going to be like a shoulder injury or something along those lines if you are swimming. And biking is pretty friendly, but I mean, one of the things about biking is you can have accidents. I mean, you can wreck on the bike, and you can those can be pretty bad. You can get beat up pretty bad. So, but when you get injured, you don't really know always what to do. So, a long time ago, I don't know that anybody does this anymore, but say 15 or 20 years ago, if you went and you saw, say, your doctor would tell you, oh, just give it rest. I don't want you to do anything for several weeks. Just take it off, ice it, all of that stuff. But I don't think that that's really the best advice anymore. You cannot continue at the same level, but you can lose, not only can you lose strength, you can lose mobility. And unless you have like a broken bone or something along those lines, it's probably better to go very, very light. Just, but have the motion, but very, very light, and do that for a while you recover. Um, there are some other things you can do to recover, and there are some things you can do to prevent injury in the first place. And I'm going to say that if you're running around looking for things like this, if you're looking for help on the internet or you're looking for things like that, um, I would be particular about whose advice I take. There is one guy, he's probably the biggest fitness YouTuber on the internet, Jeff Cavalier, and his channel I think is called, it's AthleanX or ATX. He's on YouTube, and he puts out tons and tons of videos, and he is a physical therapist. So he not only knows about training, he also had been a trainer for professional sports teams before he decided to make his full job being on YouTube, a fitness trainer on YouTube. So he's someone who has legitimate experience, legitimate credentials, and so he does videos on recovering from various injuries. So that's a really good person to check to. Another person who is really, really great, and I can't remember his real name. Everybody calls him the knees over toes guy. And if you Google knees over toes guy or search for that on the YouTube algorithm, he'll come up. And I think that his channel is ATG. Something like that. But he is really great. So he's a fairly young guy. I don't know exactly how old he is. I think he's in his probably his early to mid 30s. And he has this whole story. He had, he got injured. He was big into sports, loved sports, especially basketball. And he was doing this, but he was getting injured when he was a teenager. And they were, I think he had a surgery done, and he's just a teenager. And then after a surgery, they're telling him he can't do stuff anymore. And I mean, he's like, I don't want to. I mean, I'm a teenager. I don't want to not be able to do anything from now on. And so he went on this journey, just kind of searching everything he could find. And he found a few people that had some different ideas from what other people did about injury and recovery and preventing injury. And so he's turned that into his business now. And he does this online. And he is really great. I mean, he is really good. So he does a lot of training, but basically, in a nutshell, if if I can do him justice, his thing is we have all these coaches, we have all of this training, and all of the training only really considers training one way. So it's imbalanced. We don't, and because of that, that is one of the reasons we become more susceptible to injury. And so it's like if we need to train in the opposite way as well. And if we do that and build strength on the opposite side, then that will give us the stability for recovery and prevention from injury and all this. And I mean, he himself has done this, and it's amazing. His mother, who is in her 70s, they show her from time to time. She was having problems. She could barely, she had been at a desk job for 50 years and could barely do a lot of things. And so she started doing his program. And now she's 71. She goes running out with her grandkids and everything else. And there are tons and tons of success stories with him. He is a really great guy to watch. So I would recommend him as well. So if you're looking around, if you're having problems and you don't really quite know what to do, Now, that's not to say that you know, if you have a serious problem, definitely go see your doctor. But if you have a slight injury and you don't quite know what to do, and you're looking for some advice, those are really good people. And of course, physical therapy, that is really, it depends upon the kind of injury. You know, I'm a believer in physical therapy. I'm a believer in chiropractors. I would say that there's a difference in some chiropractors. We have a guy here locally in Louisville, and he is amazing. He is great, but he also has a specialty in sports medicine. So and he's an athlete too. He runs, and so he is really great. He knows the stuff that athletes are going through. He understands it, and so he's really great. So you might look for that too. But that's going to wrap it up for today. We are at day 34. Tomorrow we're at day 35. It's going to be over before we know it, guys. And then we'll move on to our next challenge, which I'm going to figure out here pretty soon so I can start telling you guys what the next challenge will be. But that's it, my friends. Have a great day, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Take care.